life is artwork. You might not understand this. The way that I spit is like putting strokes on the canvas. Taking notes of all the urban cries. Put it down, materialize, then watch as the paint dries. Better bet the ink, cause every time I think it's time to keep afloat while these other cats sink. No Titanic, too over dramatic. I feel like new edition in the brain now. Tell me, can you stand it? With each word I'm building me a steeple. And if you open my works up, there you'll find my cathedral. You got your wood stains, a little glass paint, but it all tell a story, man. Think that it can't. Where I come from, it's deer hunters and street guns. So I spray these words like the Uzi weighs a ton. It's that heavy. I'm pouring this out from my heart to give you the truth. The way that you see is art. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that spit is just like a brushstroke. Paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a picture. Yo, this life is artwork. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that it spit is like a brushstroke. Paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a picture. Yo, this life is artwork. My description, better yet my mission is to visualize and give the world vision. Work to heal the streets with a little audio heat. It's moving all out over laid back beats. A to the R to the T, Wisco flow. Like you're in a gallery and see a Picasso. But this ain't Picasso, baby. Even though it's like Jay, cause it's gon' drive the world crazy. This is for those admiring and looking. I heat it up for Instagram and play the rest cooking. It's so acrylic every time that I spit it. My foliage show that I all get it. Speaking of, this art get wows and awes. Like a masterpiece that's up in the halls. Everything is so realistic, but better yet, man, yo, it's so artistic. Cause now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that spit is just like a brushstroke. Paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a picture. Yo, this life is artwork. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that it spit is like a brushstroke. Paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a picture. Yo, this life is artwork. My glaze and bring the pick on home. I'm just an artiste in the Midwest zone. Now it's a lot of cats that paint, but they ain't making art. Cause they be lying from the very start. So I make it a point that I paint what I feel. Cause I know deep inside what I feel is all real. And this exhibit don't end till I say so. Sincerely yours, Michael Tangelo. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And the way that it spit is like a brushstroke. Paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a picture. Yo, this life is artwork. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And the way that it spit is like a brushstroke. Paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a bitch, paint a picture. Yo, this life is artwork. It's all artwork, baby. Welcome to my masterpiece, theater. Now you can go on and get a bootleg of it if you need to, you know what I'm saying? You can hang it on your wall, you don't even need a frame. Yo, this life is artwork.
We are the Real Bravado Network, and we address Black relationships from an image perspective. Image impacts and influences your life and life experiences. It also determines how you are treated and influence how people interact with you. Image is the reputation that you are known for, which includes your behaviors, your character, and your appearance. There's nothing more damaged than the image of the Black man in America. The Real Bravado Network's next phase of development with our live stream, Have the Conversation, will focus on his image. The Real Bravado Network will be asking, how can a Black man be a leader of his community and home when the vast majority of Black men have never been led? Leadership is taught and a skill that needs coaching, development, and refinement. Over the next few months, we will complete a forensic examination of his image. Please join the Real Bravado Network on YouTube, where we dare to be the bold, not silent.
Welcome to the essence. Sit back, relax, vibe with me. Slides by choice. You know? Yeah, yo, I hit the world with the change up. Now I'm chillin' like Kirk Schilling when it's time to raise the stakes up. My bank's money makeup. Big D's is bad like Jordan, just to come to change the game up. Teddy P with my wake up, precise like electric scales when the KB flake up. Monotony break up, lick the board up one roll like it was a whole chunk breaker. Swing or get swung on, dug or get dug on, play or get played on, fade or get fade on. I'm from West Coast, so it's known as the dope. Hot topics plus melodics make a pack dance flow. From nothing to this, a playlist, state of bliss, spit venom in eyes like to Jerry with the green mist. Vision this light, rode inside of one night. My bad, you're doing that cause you're in the vibe ride.
Jumping off with me, street has a lady shake, just slide now, tell me can you feeling that vibe? Come on, it's popping off change, trying to make the vibe just tell me can you be real with that?
This is the maze of a soulful blaze, and D's keeps hands raised like it was a song of praise. It's on for days, and the nights is even better cause the sun always shines in stormy weather. It's for every other resident, present and past, slow or fast. It's the voice that I represent. Vibe makes it evident, and the Midwest status of course makes it even more relevant. Rap games through a sky high, lights out the box. Word breaks out of bodies like a case of the speaker's box. From the meanest blocks to jazzy reefer spots, dance clubs, beauty shops, beside the halls and truck stops. Believe it or not, this whole moment's a glamour shot. I do kill cats, cause the shit'll get off the pot. Little voice in my head, so show 'em what you got. Take 16 bars and put the game on lock.
Jumping off with me, street has a lady shake, just slide now, tell me can you feeling that vibe? Come on, it's popping off change, trying to make the vibe just tell me can you be real with that?
The game goes back and forth, and D's big order like cases in just Mathis court. I rhyme some sport, you know. And a 10 plus rap rating means I got dime support. I hold the fort, get too deep to abort. Now Taylor's getting older, I ain't coming up short. Now we bust till we break bones, cause it's the future riding on what I spit at microphone. My voice bouncing off the time zones, since I'm trying to be your more listeners' ears than dial tones. Reception is crystal clear, especially with a gap of longevity beyond a year. It's all real, I'm on a master plan. In that, build your squad around me like I'm Elton Brand. Put up 20 and 10, cause I'm a grown man. Plus the vibe is love, like an Isaac caravan.
Jumping off with me, street has a lady shake, just slide now, tell me can you feeling that vibe? Come on, it's popping off change, trying to make the vibe just tell me can you be real with that vibe? It's jumping off with me, street has a lady shake, just slide now, tell me can you feeling that vibe?
Hey, Jack. All right. You got this stuff?
Yeah, all cleaned and oiled.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
That's that Babe Ingram right there, man. And when it all fall down, lay forward. Hard to see forward, no longer ignore it. Some folks talk value about the statue, but when our lives seem to have more value, we come in peace just to get some peace. A cry for justice pouring out in the streets. Should strike a nerve when you see this reality. Through this BS, yo, we just want humanity. From a code of mama, don't raise no fools. Now I be doggone it, time to change the rules. Cause the only way we gon' deal with these problems is to come up for those held down on bottom. Touchy is a subject that need to be touched, but when we speak up and say we doing too much. And if you say that you don't get what this about, we ask to throw a hand up, not a handout. So let's talk about it. 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 Give us a book, so we in the book. With all the systems of hate that us throw the book now. We just been saying it's not a good look. Started to catch it on tape, what's live on the book. So what's finna happen now? It's all on the table. Tired of the lies and we tired of the labels. Before we get a chance, we always under aim. They say we play the card, but this not a game. This is the breaking of invisible chains. You dig our fame, but you won't dig the pain. Through all the mess, yo, it's time to invest. Access alone will alleviate stress. Major concern is these babies can't learn. When given the turn, then we all can earn. At the tipping point, it's time for the turn. This ain't revenge, just justice we earn. So let's talk about it. 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 Midwest living make it hard to live. How you remain positive through the negative. The great migration, subliminal frustration. It's like we moved up north to a new plantation. Some do their best just to kill our dreams. Like no white tees, caps and sagging jeans. Why don't you go and just say what you mean? No place for us, so we can't have a scene. We need black spots like we need black props. More wealth in the hood, more black shops. More health in the hood, more black docs. More black Wall Street with more black stocks. More thriving, build it up with all black blocks. It's about time like it's all black blocks. It's about time that we even it out. Seem like we got some things to be talking about.
Damage.
Let's talk about it. 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 Yeah, ho! Yeah, ho!
All right, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to the Real Bravado Network. We are a Black issues-driven channel. We attack the issues over here, not the people, okay? Especially the issues that keep Black folk from being together. You know what I mean? My name is TJ, and I'm your facilitator on this journey for today's drive time. Drive time or afternoon version of Have the Conversation. And please, everybody that's listening in the chat, can you please do me a huge favor? I'm going to need everyone to get it together and acknowledge me. That's right. Acknowledge the Real Bravado Network as we are trying to put in the work over here. Today's Monday. It's the beginning of the week, and I'm already overwhelmed. It's just the beginning of the week, and I got so much stuff to do. We're not going to be here long today. We are wrapping up our 3-part reaction to AngryMan's live stream where he asked the question, is it time for Black men to walk away for good? And our question over here is, do Black men have a decision to make? But before we get there real quick, hey, I'm going to bring up my guest real quick. Before we get there real quick, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, share, tell a friend. Listen, y'all, we are on a march to 5,000 subscribers. We are just under 600 subscribers away from hitting our 5,000 subscriber goal. We want to get there. We've been doing this. Look, I'm so motivated to get to the 5K. I know we got all these other YouTubers. They got 50K, 100K, 500K. I'm happy that we're getting close to the 5,000 or 5K march. So if you could tell a friend what we're trying to do over here. And I've been accused of being a little bit too blunt over here, but I really don't care. And today, what we're going to do today, I actually got my buddy with me. I'm going to bring him up real quick. Also, before we get there in our march to the 5K, we're going to be streaming now 4 days a week during this time. Okay, so we're going to do 4 days a week during this time. And then also we're going to go, and this is our afternoon drive stream, is literally an afternoon drive stream. We're going to try to get it done in less than a lunch hour, get in, get out, and have the conversation. In the evenings, we will still be doing our long form format, and we will return to our long form format on Thursday. On Thursday, we are going to be starting a 3-part series on the rise and the death of the Black family. And yes, I know, we're going to be doing some teaching over there on the long form version. And I know a lot of people don't like to be taught nothing. And I get accused a lot by everybody in my life that I do a whole lot of lecturing and educating, and they just roll their eyes at me. But here's the thing, we are where we are because we don't have the proper education about what brought us to where we are today. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and bring up my buddy, Mr. Elemento. What's going on, brother?
Doing good, brother. How you doing? Good to see you.
Okay, yeah, good to see you. Listen, so here's what we're going to be doing today. Listen, so what's today? Monday?
Indeed.
So say Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. So last Thursday, there's this YouTuber on YouTube named the AngryMan. He has 500,000 subscribers, right? And this brother, I reached out to this brother, and I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do this. Let me pull it up. I reached out to this brother because he did this live stream, man, and it was called Should Black Men Walk Away for Good? And the live stream like hit so hard for me. I reached out to the brother and I was like, listen, I want to reach out. I want to react to this live stream. Now on YouTube, and I'm doing a little bit of education for people who don't know YouTube. It's a courtesy. It should be a courtesy if you're going to use somebody else's content to let them know or reach out or get permission. Now we got this thing called fair use where we don't technically have to ask for permission because fair use, you can react to stuff and use, because they call it transforming the content. When you use somebody else's content, you can't use it and just play it in its raw form without changing it. So the reaction videos that we do sometimes, that's called transformative, but it's a good courtesy sometimes just to reach out and say to somebody, hey, I actually ask for permission, even though I really don't need it. I asked for permission to use somebody's content. So I reached out to the brother and I said, hey, my name is TJ from the Real Bravado Network, and I want to react to your live stream that you did below. And I put the link in it for him. I want to break it up into a 3-part stream called Black Men, Do We Have a Decision to Make? This stream was the most profound stream that I've seen on the subject this year. I don't even think that subject has ever been approached. And I'm going to get to that in just a minute. And I just explained to him who I was. I got over 4,300 subs. I got a small engagement, but this was very profound to me. I had zero expectation. And Mr. Elemento, you and I have had conversations before about people. Give me just a half a second. Sorry, y'all. Give me a half a second.
Oh, trust and believe is worth the time. Please, listen. This is a conversation that always needs to be had.
Yeah.
Real Bravado Network is just putting in the work, as you said. We are putting in the work here to have the conversation. Please continue, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. So I reached out to the dude, right? And I had no expectation of him responding. Most of the time when you reach out to people and ask for permission or ask for a collab, you get no response. Nobody ever responds to nothing. But I find that funny because they get on YouTube talking about professionalism, cooperation, collaboration, working together. When this camera is on live, they talking that bullshit. But then behind the scenes, if you're not hitting 150, 200,000 subscribers, then they don't want nothing to do with you, which, whatever. But this brother, 500,000 subscribers, that's a large platform.
Large.
He responded within a couple hours.
Oh, okay.
So this is what the brother said to me. Let me start off by saying thank you for the love and support, fam. I appreciate you being a true supporter of my platform and recognize the realness in my stream. I'm honored that you want to react to my stream, and the fact that you want to break it down into 3-part series called Black Men, Do We Have a Decision to Make is beyond awesome. We're doing our best to continue growing our channel over here and creating a voice for men. So having a loyal community makes all the difference. We got to spread the knowledge. You feel me? But I'm glad that the stream resonated with you because it's important stuff, and we need to get that message out there. If it's going to help the brothers out there, I'm all in for it. I mean, that was it. Is keep doing what you're doing on the Real Bravado Network. Stay true to your vision, fam. We got to keep educating and empowering brothers. Salute, the Angry Man. So that's what he wrote me back. A fella that has a 500,000 subscriber count on his YouTube channel. That's a very large platform. Do you know that's more people than what MSNBC and CNN get at night?
Wow.
Sometimes that's more people than they get during the day. To put it in perspective, you know what I mean? What a 500,000 sub count is, it's larger than some of the major news outlets out there, what they have on a nightly basis. That's what he got. And so he reached out to me. And the reason why Kevin Samuels did a live stream, and that it's not his most popular live stream, but it's the one that resonated with the brothers the most. And the stream was called, he talked about how Black men experience Black women out in public, meaning Black men can't even get a smile from sisters most of the time. And Kevin Samuels did almost a 3-hour live stream on just how profoundly broken most of our women are, the fact that we can't even get a smile. And this brother, Kevin Samuels, opened up his call line, and woman after woman after woman after woman, not when I say woman, I mean Black woman, came onto his platform and tried to chastise him by the fact that because he had the nerve to be upset about the fact that they don't smile at Black men. They got up there, woman after woman after woman after woman, got up there wanting to defend not being courteous. And then our women are out here in these streets talking about, hey, we don't get protected by Black men. Who in the hell wants to? How can you be out, let's say at the gas station, pumping gas in your ride? The sister pulls up next to you and you just go, hey, ma'am, how you doing? And she just scowls at you and keeps it moving. How do you feel the need to do something for that woman if 10 minutes late? Because 10 minutes later, if some other random dude come up there getting all out of pocket, she gonna be looking at you for help, but she can't even give you the courtesy of saying hello. That was the stream that Kevin Samuels did that resonated with me, with a lot of Black men so profoundly. Now, onto AngryMan stream, when he talked about our brothers, it's a time for Black men to walk away for good. On the first day that I did that breakdown, I only broke down the first 5 minutes of his live stream, because the first 5 minutes of that live stream, I sat there and pointed out how incredibly uncomfortable he was with the thought, with just the mere thought of black men walking away. AngryMan on his channel, he's high energy. He's never lost for words to say. He's very deliberate, intentional. He is never careful when he's choosing his words. But that day on that stream, that first 5 to 10 minutes of that stream, he was pausing. He was searching for his words. He was at times a little fidgety with the introduction. And our black women have no idea how incredibly tormenting it is for black men to even consider the thought.
It is. I mean, who knows a black man better than a black woman? It's just, there is no other being on this planet that does, right? The only reason that people don't acknowledge each other, it could be from past injury, right? Dealing with someone or something that you remind them of, right? And look, I'm not saying that, people should curtsy to every person they see. I'm not saying that, but I do understand what you're saying, right? You should, even no matter where you are, just like brothers do a lot of times, you know what I mean? You just give them the head nod, and that's cool enough, right? So it really just depends on why, you know what I mean? And just like you said, a courtesy of just saying hello and not leading with any sort of trauma or negativity.
When I'm getting off work in the mornings, because I work, one of my jobs, I work a 12-hour overnight shift. When I'm getting off in the mornings and I'm walking out of the building and all these women are walking into the building, I deliberately, is not shouting, but with a full-throated voice, speak to every black woman that walked through that building as I'm walking out. And I might pass between 15 to 20 women, black women, and I might get 1 or 2 hellos. And we work for the same damn company. But I'm just saying, with AngryMan and his live stream that we were about to react to or conclude to the reaction today, is asking the question, should black men walk away? And I'm saying, do we got a decision to make? Even the thought of that is very hard for us, because it goes against everything that we know to be the right thing to do. But my question is, and I guess the question that AngryMan is asking is, at what point do you stop getting kicked in the teeth? How many times do your women got to tell you that they don't want you for you to understand that they don't want you?
Look, that's a great question, right? But then it depends on why. And I'm not saying that anyone should stick around for any type of abuse. But like you said, when you continuously get kicked in the mouth, there's only a couple options. You either figure out why, choose a new tactic, or you break the foot. It's just that problem. It's just that, you know what I mean? You break the foot that continues to kick you, or you move around. You're saying that's what the question is. That's a decision that you have to make, right?
Yes. And we're talking about it not on an individual level, but as a group level, man. We are sitting out here, and we're going to get into it because we're going to bring it up because we ain't got that much time. I got to start. Oh, and also I start a countdown clock too. So 30 minutes and we'll be out. But as a group of men, we have to understand something that, our women they seem to not care about how bad things are within the Black lexicon. They seem to almost relish in their participation of the destruction. It's almost like a badge of honor. That's just my opinion about it. But let's get to Brother AngryMan and see what he got to say. Hold on a second.
And to the black women that want to say they are the most unprotected, I would offer this piece of evidence to you.
Hold on a second, guys. I forgot to start the countdown clock. Okay, we got 30 minutes to get through this. All right, here we go.
Evidence to you. If you are the most unprotected, why are male rappers dropping like flies and nothing has happened to any female rappers?
Mr. Elemental, if there's anything you want that you hear that you want to say, just say something, okay? Because you're still live and hot, even though you're not on the screen, okay?
Fantastic.
All right.
See, as this community gets worse and worse, the ones who really pay for it are the men. We're the ones who really pay for it.
I believe he's correct. Mr. Elemental, I believe he's correct that the men really pay for it. The reason why I say we really pay for it is because we're held responsible for it. No matter if if it's inside of our control or not, we are responsible. We're held responsible and we're judged by the outcomes that are being produced by our community. It's what's wrong with the men. There's got to be something wrong with the men. All of these fatherless children, there's got to be something wrong with the men. The men, something's broken with these men.
Has to be, because we are the trendsetters, right? And if we are moving in certain ways and the past generations are looking at us and the younger generation is coming up behind us seeing what we do, if we are leading them into destruction, if we are leading them more so into prison yards and graveyards, then how do we expect anyone behind us to have learned anything if all we've taught them to do is how to get dirty?
Yep. Do you know 97% of Black men that are in prison come from single mother homes? Let's get back to the AngryMan because we on a countdown over here.
Let's do it.
Because as these younger men grow up being raised by dysfunctional women, they become effeminate, dysfunctional men. And that reflects badly on us. Because the rest of society, they'll always point their finger at the worst of us. And then they'll say, that's what Black people do.
Yeah, that's been the way since 1965. When we started seeing the breakdown of the family, the fathers not in the home, the men not in the home, the decline of the marriage rates and stuff like that, the increasing of unchecked, uncontrolled, out of control males, we get painted with that brush. Even though last year the CDC came out with their studies talking about how, really disproving all of that about Black men. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've said over and over again, the individual, the world sees you through the eyes of your woman. So if Black women as a whole find us, they say we're violent, irresponsible, non-monogamous, they call us grapists, abusers, irresponsible, not ambition. Thank you. What's her name? Ebony K. Michelle. We're not ambitious. We all like Mr. from The Color Purple. We all like Ike Turner from What's Love Got to Do with It. We're like every rich Black man from any Tyler Perry movie. Just name one. If our women project that out into the world, what do you think the world thinks about us?
Tell me what other race of man that you can find those same characteristics in. How about all of them?
All of them.
All of them.
But we're labeled that way. Hold on a second. Here we go.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Give a big shout out to my homeboy. Here we go.
Bang! Bang! It's good.
That's Theo's drop. The Do Better podcast in with the $10 super chat. Thanks, Theo, my good brother. I want to be like Theo when I grow up. Over there rocking and killing it on his channel. Support Black media, checking in from Detroit. What you doing in Detroit, bro? Were you at SummerSlam? Were you at the WWE SummerSlam? Did you get to see Jimmy Uso turn his back on his brothers? Yeah, that's the male soap opera. Yeah, we getting at it. The male soap opera. Thank you, Theo, for the $10 super chat, brother, and coming through. And remember, Theo, if you can help a brother out, I'm on my march to 5K. I'm just under 600 shy of that. So tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. But absolutely, we are held responsible for all of this crap. You know?
I love that he said, you know, they always point the finger at the worst of us and let that be an example of the whole.
Right. And our women help them with that. And one of the ways that our women help them with that is by mating and producing with the worst of us. And pretending like the worst of pretending like we are all like that. Our women know better. They know better.
They know what they like, just as men do, right? And if you're attracted to a certain type of person, then you are going to get what comes along with that certain type of person, right? Yeah. That's just how it is. If you're dealing with an electrician, you're going to have the issues that an electrician has. You know what I mean? If you deal with someone who's a fry guy, you're going to deal with somebody who comes home smelling like French fries every day. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it goes. It's part and parcel to us being who we are. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we should always be pointed out for whatever negative situation may come up or how it plays out in our relationships, right? Again, every person under the sun deals with the same things that we do. The situation is just a little bit different. Perspective is very different. But
yep. All right, let's get back to the brother, see what he's doing. That's an eye on our countdown.
See, ever since I've been up here, I haven't gotten up here just to talk shit to black people or black women specifically. I've gotten up here to point out the dysfunction and to say we need to stop it. But guess what? You can't tell someone to stop being dysfunctional when they think their dysfunction is normal.
My God. I've said that time and time and time and time again. The pushback that we're getting a lot of times when we're talking to our ladies is simply due to the fact that they believe in so deeply in what they believe. They believe it like it's their left arm. It's like trying to convince somebody that their left arm isn't their left arm. This is what we are up against. We have two generations. We have about 30 years of people on this planet right now who only know one thing and only know one way. Because we all have that through the eyes and the prism of what we grew up with in our house, which is just our moms. And I've said time and time again on our streams, we often forget that our mothers are nothing but women. But because they birthed us, we have a hard time looking at them as anything other than a woman. I talked about Mr. Elemental. I talked about on Friday about, or was it Friday or was it Thursday? I mentioned on the reaction that a lot of us don't want to admit that some of our mothers are nothing but a bunch of thought boogers.
Facts, man. Having them old keeper brother babies. Listen, that's just real deal, okay? You know, Freaknik happened, right? The beach parties, those things happened, right? Those children live now. Listen, you can't be upset about someone living their life just like you're trying to do.
Right. So this brother's absolutely correct here.
That's the problem. We're so deep into the dysfunction that we think it's normal. We think it's normal to be on camera drinking. We think it's normal for women to be on camera drinking liquor and smoking weed.
Absolutely.
We think it's normal to get on camera and be out in the street fighting like savages. We think it's normal for women to get on top of cop cars and twerk while ignorant ass Negroes throw money on them. We think that's normal.
Emotional damage.
And I can tell you right now, the people of the past, the black folks of the past, the black folks from the civil rights movement that are no longer here, the black folks from the greatest generation that are no longer here, they are turning over in their graves. Because those black people fought so hard not to be viewed as savages and animals and ignorant and barbarians. They fought hard to be treated like decent human beings. Only for you niggas to come along and undo every last bit of that. Most of you are living up to the propaganda that was put out about black people so long ago.
This is what I keep saying. It's a learned behavior. All of these things have been implanted into black families. All of these things. Every single one of these things has been, I'm telling you, initially planted on purpose to destroy black families so we can get to this point where we are now, right? This level of dysfunction that he's calling it, right? Which we know as just being the new normal, right? He said you think it's normal. It is the new normal, right? So when you have that and that's what you're leading with, then that is the normal. Oh, my daddy was here, my granddaddy was there, so I guess this is where we're supposed to do these things, right? I remember there was a famous pastor who wanted to say, oh, you know, talking about all the dysfunctional families and stuff. He said, tell me where the functional families are. Show me the difference between what you consider a functional family and what we exist in today, right? Because it has created a chain of events that has led us to this point. But if we are so dysfunctional, show me the dichotomy of what we are doing wrong. Absolutely. Other than what we know already. You know what I'm saying?
Most of you are living up to it. You're living up to it.
Real quick, Mr. Elemental, while I was sitting here thinking about what you're saying, yes, everything you're saying is correct. But here's where maybe I'm wrong. I think we know that today. And I think we're actively choosing. I think we're actively choosing the death of black families. I think we're actively choosing it. We're choosing it on purpose. I think we know that. I think we know what happened. I've said many months ago, black folks is the most studied group of people in this country. We are a social experiment and anthropological research on what not to do.
Ooh, come on, man. Spit that for real.
And we sit around here pretending. We like to pretend like what's going on ain't going on.
Ignorance is bliss. Come on.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna get to it when I get to the end, when I do my wrap up about our women calling me people who should know better, people close to me, close to AngryMan, close to you, who should know better, calling us bitter. Calling us bitter in the context that this is why we're doing this, because we got a problem with black women. We got a fucking problem with black women in general.
No, not at all.
But we'll get there in a second. Let's get to the brother.
And what I'm trying to figure out is if black people are coming onto these platforms trying to tell you to do better, why do you hate them? Why do you refuse to accept the correction? Why are you so in love with debauchery? Why are you so in love with dysfunction? you
waiting on
hate
somebody
yourself
yesterday.
that much?
Crickets.
Because I can tell you right now, any of you that have an excuse for the way women and men are acting today, I got to question your sanity. I got to question your intelligence.
Emotional damage. Emotion.
Now, some of you might be like, well, Angry Man, if you're going to say that black people in general have serious problems, why are you putting so much focus on the women?
Here we go.
The reason why is because when the men act like they don't got no sense, this society will check them. This society is not going to allow black men to run buck ass wild for too long. You will either end up incarcerated or in a coffin.
The 1990s crime bill that Bill Clinton signed into law, which accelerated the prison industrial complex, was a direct result. Let me tell you something, how that bill came to be. And you guys might need to do a little bit of research on your own too, but I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version of how that crime bill came to be. Black organizations like the NAACP, the Rainbow Coalition with Jesse Jackson, the Urban League, churches, they were begging the federal government to step in and do something about the 1980s into the early 90s gang wars that was terrorizing every major and minor city in this country with black men. The solution to that was the crime bill that Bill Clinton signed into law. The other results for that was states like California enacting truth in sentencing laws. You steal a candy bar and it's your third strike, you go into prison for the rest of your life for a damn candy bar. It accelerated the privatization of prisons. And who do they fill them with? You would wonder what would be the worst of us. They filled it with people with black bodies with petty crimes. Most of the guys that were in prison were, and Kamala Harris got elected vice president of the United States for locking up brothers for weed. And now there's a weed dispensary on every damn corner.
Come on, man. Coast to coast, almost.
So when black men get out of trouble, gets quote unquote out of line or out of control, the country reacts to it. Hell, take it away from the criminal aspect of it. When too many black men become advocates, the damn nation reacts. Do we not need to talk about the Panther Party and the infiltration of the Black Panther Party from the CIA? Do you not understand that California was the first state in the country to enact gun control policies because the Black Panther Party were showing up to court hearings with semi-automatic rifles?
I'm writing this in my poem right now because they said there will be no black messiah. They are still worried about that, which is why they are coming down so hard on us. And like you said, using the women in the way that they do, make it absolutely wonderful and beautiful, right? For them to be on there and do the things that they do, not that they represent every single black woman, but by showing them that, who would want you? Who would want such a being as a partner? You demonize them, you destroy us. Now you have the death of black culture.
Right. So yes, AngryMan's correct. When black men get out of line, the community, the nation rises up to control black men, whether it be on the criminal side of things or it be on the advocate side of things. And yes, Mark Cooper, we're talking about Fred Hampton too. And we're not going to talk about just 15 years ago, the FBI released all of its released most of its finding about the infiltration of Martin Luther King, and that they were setting that man up and wiretapping that brother, sending prostitutes to his jail cell, to his hotel rooms, knowing that he ain't nothing but a man and away from his wife.
Of course, tried to smear his name and say that he was, homosexual with Barry Rustin. Like, they've done everything they could to try to smear that brother's name.
I'm talking about holding men accountable. This country always hold men accountable, especially black men. Hold on.
The money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
I feel honored. I feel honored because I don't know if this is the first time he's been here, but this is the first time he's blessing me, Mr. Salty Balls himself. Hey, Mr. Salty Balls, thank you for the $10 super tap, and I appreciate you coming in, showing some support. Now, because Mr. Salty Balls, Mr. Elemental has always come in with these verses, so it takes a little bit of a while to get through it, okay? So here we go. Scroll of the easy, sleazy nasties, chapter 2, verse 2. Thine she heathen, adorned with a blonde crown of 1 million manes of horses, is a succubus, is a discipline of Narcissus drunken off the Hennessy of hubris. I love when his brother drops his super chats and his
because pages, man. I need pages of that, man. Come through. I need some pages.
He goes all biblical on you or whatever. I'm gonna give you another one for that one. Yep. And then Son Moses, thank you, sir. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Some support, bro. Thank you. All the help that I can do, and we're on our march to 5K. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And we're gonna be here 4 days a week during lunchtime or drive time or whatever you want to call it. And then we're gonna also don't forget about our long form stream in the evenings that we're gonna be re-ramping back up this Thursday. Okay. Appreciate you guys for the super chats and the support. Oh my God, here we go. I got to do this again. Hold on a second. While we're there,
Here we
go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Elemental, you want to give this a shot?
Man, look, I'm telling you, man.
Bonus is Bonia. Yeah. Thank you, Salty Balls, for another $20 on the super chat, brother. I appreciate you all day long and twice on Sundays for this, bro. This is. I mean, hold on a second. I'm glad, Mr. Salty Balls. I'm glad you sent this. This reminds me, and I was gonna call out a specific live streamers, but I'm not gonna do it right now. But I'm gonna be very general with my scolding right here. Any live streamer that sees this or hears this later on, please, when someone decides to invest their hard-earned money, I don't care if it's gas money or more, please acknowledge them. Don't go 30, 40 minutes without acknowledging the people who are providing you with their support. I'm telling you right now, no one has to give us anything. They're giving this because they are in agreement with the message or the stream of the day. And you understand something, $20 is basically a salary for some people. $20 an hour is 40 grand a year. Someone decided to take, and the money represents something that person can't get back, which is their time, the time that it took for them to earn it. They can never get that back, and they're sharing that with you. So we got some live streamers out here in this space who I'm watching people super chat the hell out of them. And they go 40 minutes, an hour without even acknowledging them. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I try my damnedest to make sure that not 2 or 3 minutes don't go by without me acknowledging what people are doing over here. I started this platform a year ago with only 11 subscribers. I just started getting people coming over here, visiting with me on a regular basis in January. I just started people giving me their hard-earned money and supporting what I'm doing over here just only a couple months ago. So I get offended when I see people get super chatted and you got 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 subscribers, and you ain't got the nerve to sit there and be like, hey, take a second out and just acknowledge them. I'm speaking of acknowledging, I got to do one more real quick.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
Shout out to Theo on the Do Better podcast. If anybody wants to know what they should do with their super chats, watch Theo. This brother goes out of his way. He will stop in mid-sentence if he has to acknowledge the appreciation for people supporting what they're trying to do. He will do that. And so I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant, a little bit off topic here, but good Lord. And believe it or not, in these spaces, most of the super chats are coming from men, black men. If we don't show each other the respect of our hard work, that's why I ask for permission when I use content like from an Angry Man. It's showing respect. And I'm a little bit pissed off about it right now because I was gonna name the channel, but they're young guys and they're just starting out. Listen, acknowledge your damn super chats. Okay, and I'm lecturing like I'm the elder statesman of the damn group, but get the fuck out of here. Really,
it's important for people to know that they are seen, right? That their energy is felt. That's so important, man, because then again, when people feel like they're a part of your broadcast, now they know it's like, oh, okay, I can give my time and my hard-earned money because I'm getting something out of it. You're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't acknowledge those people every chance you get. Right.
All right. So, Mr. Coonley, I'm gonna give you something. I hope I don't get my stream shut down. Hold on a second. Here's your, and this is hopefully triggering. Thank you. That was my Kevin Samlis for you, brother. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Conley. He's always supporting, always contributing, always providing feedback. Brother, I appreciate you big time. Big time, big time, big time. And of course, we can't forget about, hold on. Look, I'm like going all over the place because I'm getting all nervous and stuff. We cannot forget about the ladies, right?
I said what I said.
Yeah. Miss Almond Eyes in the building with the $2 super chat. Be grateful some of us aren't at that stage yet. Yeah, absolutely. You know, shout out to Almond Eyes. I've been checking out her channel. She's doing good things over there, and I can't wait to catch her live so I can return the favors that she's been giving me for the last few, since she found me. So I appreciate that big time. I really do. All right, one more time for Tia.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
Yes, and also my sister is off on vacation this week, but I do want to give a quick shout out to her.
As a woman, specifically a black woman.
Yeah, Miss Messy Michonne. Okay. All right, let's wrap this up, okay? Let's get to it.
But with the women, they are allowing you to run buck wild. And the reason they're allowing you to do that is because they know that you, 85% of the time, are going to have custody of the children, which means that you are going to turn into a dysfunction factory.
Yes.
You are going to churn out more dysfunctional black people, which will create more
Absolutely.
black girls to create more dysfunctional black people. And it will create more dysfunctional black boys that they can lock up and make a profit off of.
Shit. Shit.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Mr. Salty Balls with another $20 super chat. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you coming over here and supporting me and finding me. I appreciate you. I've seen you all over the lexicon in these streets, so I appreciate you, showing me some love and support. Brethren, we have to keep things sage in the public square, elevated. Rebuke simplicity, refrain from feeding thine heathens of hedonism. Brethren, I call upon you from the Merchants Guild to keep the clarion calling. Absolutely.
Man, I'm telling you, it's like a Black Confucius says. Come on, man. Like, he's just putting in that work. I'm telling you, bro, I need pages. I need pages of that, man. Come on, holla at your folk, man.
Yeah. I'm just really, I feel blessed because I've seen him do this on other channels. So I'm excited. So I'm over here excited. Here we go. Uh-oh. That's not what I wanted. Hold on. Where did he go? Here we go.
Reason you want to play the who's right game. That's all that happens. When you get up here and you talk about the black issues and you point out what black women do wrong. Nah, that ain't right. That ain't right. Because y'all just have a desire to be right. Community be damned. Black family be damned. Black love be damned. And see, I have to question.
Ain't that what I just said? I just said it seems like they just want to just burn this bitch down for the sake of burning it down. Because they can't be told what to do. They don't want to file nobody. They don't want to come in cooperation with nobody. They want to lead. And here's the thing, ladies, you have been leading. You've been in charge of the entire black experience and black family for over 50 damn years. And here we are under your leadership. This is you've been in charge. You've been in charge. Refuse to mate with the better versions of our men because Mr. Bumtastic Dirty Dick Dillinger seemed to be way more exciting than the guy who went out there. Let me tell you something, Mr. Elemental. Our sisters today, they would never F with Malcolm.
No.
They wouldn't date, marry, or not. They would call him a lame Malcolm X.
Yeah.
They wouldn't date they would call Martin Luther King a lame, a dusty. Look at him. Y'all don't even understand that Martin Luther King was short. I think the brother was like 5'6". He too short. He this, that, and the third. You wouldn't have cared nothing about his character, his charisma, his knowledge, his fearlessness, his sense of duty would have not been enough for the ladies today.
Because those things aren't valuable in today's society.
And his wife was fine. Claretta was fine.
I mean, so was Betty Shabazz.
So was there you go.
Let's not get twisted, all right? They both have beautiful black women,
right?
As to help them through the craziest times in American history.
Malcolm was a handsome man. Martin Luther King looked like a troll in the face.
That's terrible.
But then the quality men got the quality looking and acting and dressing women. They were the standards. Now our standard got tattoos all up on their face. And then their children are out here.
Yeah, I hear you. Their kids look like the men they want.
What's
right?
going
All
on,
dapper and
because
debonair.
there is a ideology today amongst black women that is a contradictory schizophrenic mentality. You look at this situation with the passport bros, right? The passport bros said, you know what? We're not dealing with American black women. We're going to go overseas and we're going to date other women. The moment that this became a thing, black women in this country have went ape shit. They are all over social media. At first, they were shaming the black men. Oh, you just doing that because you can't get a woman.
Yes.
You just doing that because you're a lame.
Absolutely.
You're just doing that because you're mad because some woman hurt you or some woman broke up with you. Now, when that shaming didn't work, they went from shaming to accusations. Y'all are preying on those women over there.
Yes.
Y'all are predators. All of that crap, right? And why? Because one, the reason why they were trying to shame you is because they want you to stop. Because if you're over there, who are they going to date? More specifically, who are they going to take advantage of? So once the shaming didn't work, now they have to hurl out accusations, which I'm going to tell you right now, that is a dog whistle. True to form, what they always do is they scream out a dog whistle, hoping that white men will come and do something about it. This is why they're yelling about predators and shit like that. They're hoping that somebody white will pay attention to that and stop you Negroes from going overseas.
He's talking about the passport bro movement. And the fact that a large amount of black men are running overseas to try to find wives and long-term relationships, and our women over there calling foul, talking about they're just going to go over there and abuse them. Let me tell you something. I got a good friend, lady friend. I don't want to call her friend, but that I'm friendly with. And she always talks about how violent and abusive and using our black men are. And she really talks about the level of violence that black men exert over black women. And she talks about it in such a passionate way that one day I decided to ask her, I said, hey, you know, you always say this. I don't understand what you mean. I'm not saying that there are not no brothers out here kicking ass, because they are. And believe it or not, the highest of domestic violence victims are actually white women from their white men. But we're not going to go there. So I asked her. I said, listen. I said, so you were abused too. You had your. But she looked at me. She looked at me confused, Mr. Elemento.
Oh, I'm sure.
She was confused.
I'm sure.
And her response to me was, I've never had anybody whoop my ass. I've never had any guy jump on me. Then how in the world do you sit up here and spew all of this garbage about what black men do, and you, with all the kids you got, with all the men you got, no matter how bad you think those men are, which, you know, that's suspect when a woman tells about a black man being bad. I reserve judgment. So you ain't never in all your years experienced that level of violence yourself, but you think that's what black men perpetrate, but yet you have not experienced it yourself. So where are you getting this narrative from?
Yeah, there's a circle that's feeding you that narrative. Right? That's saying, oh, black men are this way. Black men do this and this and that. Right? And look, I've said this, right? Once you get into that level, you're not dealing with the same person anymore. Right? Once your relationship ends, you're dealing with different people. So now you're you're expecting something from someone that's not the person. They are never going to be that person again.
Yeah.
It's always going to be just off, always. But they're
Let's
going to give that to someone who has that voice, who does have a way to make people understand what they're saying and their particular situation. But that doesn't mean that that's how it all goes, especially for people like that. They have the mouthpiece. They just don't have the experience. So somebody's feeding them that garbage to speak.
Now, the reason why
Yep. Oh man. Oh.
our raggedy Negroes, and it is only at this point in my YouTube career that I can honestly say that I would be a horrible person. I would be a horrible person and an incompetent influencer if I told you black men to deal with the modern day black woman.
You know what he's talking about? We can't say it out loud because they'll shut us down. Do you know what he means by deal with?
Indeed.
He's basically saying deal with these aggressive masculine women like you would deal with an aggressive or masculine man. He goes, if I tell y'all to do that, I'll be irresponsible. But yet black men are the most violent, the most vicious, the most this, the most that.
Because she has made it crystal clear that she is not going to cooperate with you.
I got to let this sit there and let that breathe for a second.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Coonley with the $5 super chat. He says, will you talk about, hold on, will you talk about, hold on, I got to get this off the screen so I can see. Okay. Will you talk about their excuses of black women saying that they only knew hood men growing up. They did not know any alternatives. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in my actual wrap up, but that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
Expand your radius.
Yeah. We're running out of time, Mr. Elemental. Before I get to my conclusion, because we're over our time now, but when I get to my conclusion, you got anything to say? The subject, the stream that this brother did is called, is it time for black men to walk away for good? And our question is, do black men have a decision to make?
I absolutely believe we do have a decision to make. And that decision is deciding which one of these is really our enemy. Is it the mentality or the people who are spewing the nonsense? And if it's the mentality, which I believe it is, then we need to address the source of that, because it doesn't come from us. This is a ploy. It's a tactic to destroy black culture in America. And if we are not careful, we will be extinct on North America. Just saying.
Okay. Just give me a second, Mr. Elemento.
Sure.
I'm just kind of sitting here thinking. Last night before I was getting ready to, while I was putting this together for today, I had somebody close to me, a lady who's known me for almost 20 years. And she called me out of concern because she saw part 2 of this. She called me out of concern that I'm just too bitter about black women. This is a woman who should know better. Who should know better about me personally and what I actually stand for and what I actually am. I am kind of sick and tired of our women accusing nearly every black man of being bitter, angry, got mama issues, all because we want you to do better. We're not asking you to give up anything substantial other than your behavior and your attitude and your mindset. AngryMan just said it best right there. You are absolutely refusing to come into cooperation. No other man, and I know our women get tired of hearing this, but it's the butt naked truth. No other man wants to has to deal with this. No other group of women talk like our women talk, behave like our women talk. None of that. Even these white women who mobilized the feminist movement and recruited our black women, those women did not want to leave their husbands. Those women wanted a little bit of control over their purse strings. That's all they really wanted. Our black women took this shit and went way too far with it. They started leaving the home, started excommunicating men from the home, refusing to marry, refusing to select appropriate men, all in the name of independence. They let these white women talk them into, confuse them about that that black women had the same issue with their men as white women had with their men, which was some bullshit. Our black women was already standing side by side with their men because they had to. But yet our women were talked into the fact that they were talked into the position that they were being oppressed. If you talk to our women now about cooperation or submission, which is one and the same, they talk about being dominated by their man and being oppressed by their man. Never in mass, throughout no section of history, in black history in this country, have black men in mass suppress their women. If you don't believe me, look at all the music from Motown on. All these record labels that got rich off of simp music. From the Temptations to the Four Tops to the Key Sweats to the New Editions to the Baby Faces to the Marvin Gayes. Nowhere in time have you saw black men talking about oppressing our women. And you got these platforms have sprung up. The Kevin Samuelses of the world have all sprung up, not because we want to beat you down or embarrass you publicly. I'm going to let you know at the root of all of these conversations, and I'm going to put it in a way that I know many black men will probably disagree with me. But the root of all of these conversations, this is another version of black men begging you to do right. This is another version of black men telling you emphatically that we want you. You wouldn't listen to us behind closed doors. So now we're public with it. And you got a problem with that, but you ain't got a problem with your public ass, trifling ass behavior. And you know what behavior I'm talking about. Do I need to? Yes, we're going to issue the warning. You ain't got no problem with that. You ain't got no problem being a Thoughtsilla.
They call that fun, man. Come on.
Fun.
They call that fun. That's having a good time these days, bro. Come on.
I can't answer that question because much like AngryMan, at the beginning of his live stream, just like he was uncomfortable with the thought of even having that conversation, should black men walk away, I'm just as uncomfortable with coming to a conclusion. I told you in the stream one, intellectually, we know the answer to that. Intellectually, we know the answer is yes. Why do you want to stick around somebody who don't want you? Black women have made it perfectly clear, but I don't know how many different ways can black women tell black men. I'm talking about the 54% of black men who are single, childless, earn enough money to be considered middle class. I don't know how many different ways black women can't tell us that they don't want us. So the question of should we walk away or do we have a decision to make, has the decision already been made for us? And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow as we examine the podcast, We Need to Talk. Mr. Elemental, stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm on my march to 5K. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. We're here tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and 1 o'clock. Come on back for the drive time conversation. I'll have the conversation. Messy Michonne is in the building, y'all. While she's on vacation, Messy Michonne is in the building. She's in the building. She showed up for support because she's clearly...
As a woman, specifically, a black woman.
That's Messy Michonne. See you guys tomorrow.
That's that Babe Ingram right there, man. And when it all fall down, lay forward. Hard to see forward, no longer ignore it. Some folks talk value about the statue, but when our lives seem to have more value, we come in peace just to get some peace. A cry for justice, pour it out in the streets. Should strike a nerve when you see this reality. Through this BS, yo, we just want humanity. From a code of mama, don't raise no fools. Now I be doggone it, time to change the rules. Cause the only way we gon' deal with these problems is to come up for those held down the bottom. Touchy is a subject that need to be touched, but when we speak up, it said we doing too much. And if you say that you don't get what this about, we ask to throw a hand up, not a handout. So let's talk about it. 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 Didn't want give us a book, so we had the book. Solid Harriet systems are hating that I stole the book. Now we just been saying it's not a good look. Started to catch it on tape, post live on the book. So what's finna happen now? It's all on the table. Tired of the lies and we tired of the labels. Before we get a chance, we always under aim. They say we play the card, but this not a game. This is the breaking of invisible chains. You dig our fame, but you won't dig the pain. Through all the mess, yo, it's time to invest. Access alone will alleviate stress. Major concern is these babies can't learn. When given a turn, then we all can earn. At the tipping point, it's time for the turn. This ain't revenge, just justice we yearn. So let's talk about it. 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 Midwest living make it hard to live. How you remain positive through the negative. The great migration, subliminal frustration. It's like we moved up north to a new plantation. Some do their best just to kill our dreams. Like no white tees, got some sagging jeans. Why don't you go and just say what you mean? No place for us, so we can't have a scene. We need black spots like we need black props. More wealth in the hood, more black shops. More health in the hood, more black docs.